Hey everyone, welcome. This is another Heckin' episode. It's Heckin' episode 4 of Sid, Tales of the Concord. Codename
Dun, dun,
Sid.
dun.
My name is Molly. I use she, her pronouns. I'm going to be your game mistress for the night. I'm going to pass it over to my friend Scarlett.
Hello, my name is Scarlett. I also use she, her pronouns. I will be playing the character Bay, who uses they, them pronouns. And Penny.
Hi, my name's Penny. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Taz. He uses he, him pronouns. And I can fit my fist in my mouth. What? Okay.
Please no.
My name's Adora. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing character Wig, who's also she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Kat. I am playing Ember, who uses she, her pronouns, and I, as Kat, use she pronouns.
Contrary to popular belief, Kat's character is actually a fox, not a cat.
And I actually can fit my whole fist in my mouth, but I'm not going to do that here.
we very much appreciate your discretion here on the table, where discreetness is really the name of the game here on all on the table, not rampant transness. Discretion.
Always.
Speaking of discretion, the morning dew hangs heavy over the low-lying foliage and grasses around the settlement of Redalara. The sand-beaten streets are darkened with wet jasper mud. The ultraviolet resplendence of the violet fiddle is quiet in the face of the sun, just peeking over the Yucarahan Mountains. After arranging for safe transit for Shah, Daragarak hitman, turned informant, Ember shoves him under a heavy cloak and shuffles him through the early morning mist to Bilu's warehouse, awaiting safe passage and perhaps reintegration. The party was able to glean 3 crucial points of information about the Daragarak cultists and the Sequamantic cores they made away with. First, the cult leader, Kwa'u, is using the cores to power massive arcane-infused machines, believed to be for mining. Second, this machine rig is attached to the ship that moves only at night across the desert, disguised with a Mirage Arcane as a sand dune. His final piece of information was that many of them had taken employment at Sandara Reagent and Supply, and that Kwa'u's trusted guide brings them back to the ship after every shift. The scene is set for a group of adventurers. Bring back the cores, free the imprisoned academics, or die trying. Friends, what would you like to do?
Well, I don't want to die trying.
Yeah,
maybe
We'll
put that
avoid
a
that
little bit
option.
lower on the list. Me.
Where are we starting?
You are currently in your room, your second floor room that you all piled into last night, where Ember has just come back from handing off Shah to Bilu. And you are now in the Violet Fiddle.
What time of day is it?
Early morning.
Too early for a drink.
He stank, to high heaven. I need to wash that smell off me. I'm taking a bath.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
you do.
I think we should do something to advance our quest. And that thing is, Bay, the thing is, what we're going to do next is...
Well, let's see. Considering what we learned yesterday, I think we have
Taking out the book report. Just considering recent data.
Let me use.
Yes,
I think our
so we should
best
follow them,
I
right?
see a 67% uptick in...
As Bay is flipping through the book looking for the notes, Wig is just like, oh, well, obviously we need to follow them, right?
Obviously, we should probably follow them.
It's exactly what I was
And-
thinking.
Yeah, we know we're looking for a giant camouflaged ship, right? That shouldn't be hard to find.
Yeah, how hard could it be to find a giant magically camouflaged ship?
What was the name of the person
Easy peasy.
that they told us goes back to the ship tonight?
All of the there's a group of the commissars, the Daggerlands, that go back every night. There wasn't a specific name.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, like it's as simple as just tracking some people from the desert, right?
I mean, maybe, but I think really what we need to do is to track these people from the desert and follow them.
Probably when they're coming off work, so time to stake out around SRS.
Maybe, but what about if we wait until they're getting off of work and then we stake out?
I've had enough of this bickering. I'm gonna just decide. We're gonna go stake out SRS. We're gonna wait till they get off of work, and we're gonna follow them through the desert. Who's with me?
You look around, Ember's already gone.
Oh.
So as you make your way through the Sandscory market, trying to get different vantage points on Sundata reagent supply, you will come across Nufawa's Bazaar, kind of these beautiful knickknacks and wonderfully woven scarves, also scars. You will find Paja's Peddling and Trade, kind of a collection of different knives for skinning, some for hunting. Then you have Lasagna's Herbal Requisitions, an alchemy shop. And don't forget, of course, the Assembly of Fine Artistic Busts you wander by as you make your way around. And so you're able to... There is a couple of businesses around it. Fredo's Famous Swords is one of them. So how are you going to stake out Sundata reagent supply? What are you doing?
Ember, who is just on already, or like the three of us who are...
We're the bumbling idiots.
Yes.
I
Okay,
walk
excuse
up
me.
to I walk up to where Kat is like hiding and trying to stake out and be like, "Hey Kat, could you tell me how to stake out a place?"
And then somebody then like you Ember is just sitting there staring because their name is in Cat.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
so right.
So
You're so right. I go up to Ember.
let's maybe the three of us are just still talking in the hotel room. After Ember is gone.
While they're all talking, Ember is looking for good places to split each one of them.
Oh,
Ah.
if you can do that trick, I think maybe just Ember seeking it out should be enough, right? Expert there and nearby and
Give me a survival check.
Everybody?
No, Ember.
Survival or stealth?
Survival, because you're picking out places that would make sense.
Well, shoot. Okay, I have stealth. I don't have anything in survival. Crap.
I'm a meanie head.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
if Ember like if there's a world where Ember like speaks to any of us, which probably should happen, I think it could be cute. Look, why don't you roll? Just start by rolling.
19.
You are able to identify some shrubberies
Oh no.
near
shrubbery.
near Rogmesh's Rothskeller. And so you're able to find like a good viewpoint from some shrubbery there. Outside of the house of the Honorable Justicar, there's like a small tent that's serving tea and food, that they have some chairs set up out front, so you could kind of hide in plain sight that way. And that's what you're able to find as far as like really good spots that you think will be inconspicuous. And one person of your choice will get to re-roll their stealth check.
Okay.
What do the two of you say to me saying that in the hotel?
Didn't we already? Okay. Saying, what did you say? What am I reacting to?
That we all don't have to stake out the place. yesterday.
Me?
Taz said to Taz. Taz can do the
Okay.
okay. And
Okay.
and I don't know if Taz knows what trick that is yet. I'm just saying like that's the words that she.
Yeah, what trick are you talking about?
Oh, well, in nearby we can talk telepathically, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's the thing wizards do.
Of course, yes. Every wizard can talk telepathically with people. And I'm a wizard.
Whispers.
Um,
While we're in the hotel.
I do want to just ask, are you talking about message or sending? Because sending is fully telepathic. Message, you whisper, and it's inaudible to anyone except for who has the magical copper wire.
I think that wig is not distinct at this moment, and they both
see.
seem equally.
But, okay. Sure. Just magic chicanery.
Magic,
Gotcha.
audible communication at range.
We'll just do sending, because that's the class feature. That's cool.
Bay's
Oh,
gonna
you're
sidle
using
up.
your grinder?
But yeah, my grinder relay, my telepathic grinder relay.
Alright, so everybody's getting ground up.
But wait, what were you saying, Scarlett, that Bay was doing?
Oh, Bay's gonna sidle up to Wig and just kind of like, as casually as Bay can, be like, "Hey, can I ask you something? You know, like a minute ago, a while ago, yesterday, we were fighting those guys. Do you remember that?
Yes, that.
You know, I think that's the first time I've ever seen you fight. And I saw you had this weird weapon, and I just remembered something from like when I was little, and I was wondering if you fashioned it after somebody or like where that came from. Did you hear about someone else that used it? I just like a childhood hero of mine had a really similar weapon, and I just like, are you a fan? Are we friends now? I just wanted to feel that out.
I found this. Down. One of those one wielder every.
One of those.
Okay, so you're not like a fan of a super cool vigilante fighter who like saves urchin children or anything
Bay,
like
are you
that.
talking about the urchin's spine again?
No, I just like
She's not real. She doesn't
she's
exist.
Really cool. I think she's real. I think there's no proof that she's not real.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's me. So probably real. Yeah.
That's you? The urchin spine. Everyone knows the urchin. The urchin spine's so cool. Everyone loves the urchin spine.
Days just frozen, paralyzed. They're completely paralyzed right now in starstruck awe.
I turn beet red. Well, I don't know if orcs can turn beet red because they're green, but I visibly blush and then go, I'm gonna go follow Ember, and I just leave.
Can I touch your sword? Your lance?
Oh, yeah, I guess, here. Out and like, safety mode. It's like, not like shoot, because what if you like lean over or something? Slowly, hold safe here and just like kind of moves it around a little bit so you
Babe's gonna like
feel dirty.
Yeah.
I know, I was like,
really dirty all of a sudden.
I didn't know.
Babe's gonna pull out a
touch
piece
your
of paper and start like smacking it against the lance.
Oh, it'll
right?
definitely just
very
like
dirty.
get sliced immediately. Like the paper goes like through it and then the other piece falls off. You know what I mean?
We lost
It's just
Kat
gonna-
from VDO. Is she still in OBS?
I
Yeah,
still
She's
see
still
Kat.
there.
Yeah. Yes. Kat, can you hear?
Yeah.
Wow, this
Them?
rogue's stealth is so crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see, Taz kind of slides out into the slides out into this half hallway that overlooks this kind of darkened tavern room, and the smell of stale wine is wafting up at you. And you are able to make your way out. And I assume Ember is just kind of staking things out, walking around the market. What are you actually doing?
Staking things out, walking around halfway looking for any of her party to show up.
Okay, and so you just look up at one point, and just like a head taller than everybody else is Taz. Just sort of like seemingly stupefied, just kind of wandering around like he just got punched, but he looks perfectly fine. He's just like dumbstruck.
I've got no idea what's going on, and I'm like concerned with my own stuff at the moment. So I'm just like,
Do I see her?
Yes.
Like, are you hiding right now, or are you just looking?
I'm not trying. I'm like trying not to draw attention to myself, but I'm also not trying to like stick to the shadows exclusively.
So I'm gonna approach you and be like, hey, Ember. Hey, Ember. Hey, Ember. Have you heard of the orphan's spine?
Rumors. So, some of my kids I work with talk about them.
That's a wig.
Can't say I'm too surprised, to be honest. That tracks. She doesn't seem too phased.
Well, I might have told her that she was lame and fake to her face a couple of times before she told us who she was.
Smooth.
Anyway, can I help you somehow?
I get the feeling, actually, I could use your help, and we can work together. And I think you actually like this one, as long as I don't have to drag you by the ear again.
Please don't. You know that hurts, right? Like, that hurts quite a lot when you do that.
Yes, but at the moment, there was no other way to get your attention. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Okay, what do we do?
Okay, so you had mentioned there's some nice like stalls area outside of Alfredo's. I assume there's like probably somewhere to hole up or some kind of. Is there any kind of like diner stall or place with food and drink?
Yeah, there's like an outdoor eating area in front of Sundot Reagent Supply.
I drag Taz over there. Have some food, have some drink, study your wizard books, and just keep an eye out for things. You should blend in right about. I drag some chairs around and kind of make it so that as tall as he is when he's sitting down, he still blends into the background and isn't super noticeable.
Okay.
What kind of things am I looking for, Ember?
You're looking for a group of interesting people coming out of that big old building to your left. And when you notice them, you let one of us know. Using your telepathy thing you did the other day.
My wizardly ways, of course.
Whispers.
Alright, well I take a seat. I order some shawarma or whatever they have here.
It's just peanut butter and jelly. That's all that they serve.
Well,
and Dino Nuggies, because
you have tried to order shawarma at every restaurant that we've been to, though.
It's like very exclusively served in the capital, and every time you order it, it's like this big like class indicator thing. It's like, I'm a fish out of water.
Big virtue signaling.
What is your culture's answer to the how do I put food inside of a bread question?
They hand you a hot dog. They hand you a sausage on a roll.
Hot bags.
And they splatter some gritty meat sauce over it.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
And they kind of set like a cheap ale in front of you. You're currently in college, so it's your nickname right now.
Gritty meat sauce. That's me, Taz. Taz gritty meat sauce.
So right now we have the urchin's quill and gritty meat sauce.
One of these is cooler than the other, and it's not the one you think. Okay.
I feel like Ember is the two-tail fox or the three-tail fox because she has her tail, her rifle, which looks like a second tail, and then her actual like vermin's tail is also sticking out. So there's 3 black tails all sticking out.
That's really cool because it means that like when your pet is not like body, it's somewhere else, then you have 2 tails. So it's like
And if I have my gun drawn, I only have 1.
right, but it's like people don't necessarily know about the like tails are from. So it's people like, oh no, she's in like 2-tail mode. I heard that's when it like gets serious, you know?
Her power level's over 9,000.
Okay,
Overnight,
so
oh, no.
I'm sitting eating peanut butter jellies, hot dogs, and just, like Dr. Pepper.
Okay. What's happening over here? Are we? Did y'all?
Yeah.
I will
Now
follow
we
you.
return
So if
back
you leave
to-
the room, Adora, jump cut back to us. If you leave, I will follow you. I have pulled out my notebook and I have a list of of questions that I have been waiting for years on the off chance that I ever met you to ask.
That's great.
So I'm just trailing behind you, being like, okay. But what about like 3-tailed Rodney? Was that true? Did that really happen?
I'll just be like, oh well, I mean, that wasn't actually. We'll talk about it differently than actually happened, but of course, Rodney did time together.
Like really, all of the onions?
No, you see that's the part that neither of us.
I
Are
didn't
that
even
strong.
know onions grew in the desert.
Well, it's a special. I mean, it's a slang term, right? Onion is just onion means different things, right? So it's desert onion is a regular onion.
So,
Smash
you,
cut.
Happening the
you
whole
make-
walk.
So this feels like Josephine again. I feel like we're back in the market in O, and we're talking about feeding Josephine and how to spy. And I'm back here. We've arrived again. We're at a market.
I feel satisfied with this scene. Definitely move to the next chunk of whatever's happening.
So is there anything else that you want to do in the city while you're trying to stake out these people? Are you going to go into the place, or are you just going to sit around and wait for a group of people to come out?
Yeah, so you know that it's like a group of people follows this and may or may not be identifying themselves, I guess, with like their we probably know that viable or not, or if they're just have an SRS uniform.
They just would be another SRS worker.
And in that case, like we might need to follow multiple. Oh, sorry, did I just cut off? I need to be able to follow multiple. Sorry, I know that you can hear me, but at home can't. So okay, yeah. So if multiple groups of people leave, then like if one of them is going to the bar, we need to be able to know that and then come back or something like that, basically. But what I want to do during the day, my character, because we've got all day, right? We don't need to start actually waiting for people to leave until the evening. Is go speak to some of the people that I know in the area to ask to borrow some tracking tools because I'm, from the desert. I know how to do this sort of thing. But I didn't necessarily bring all the stuff with me for it. And I thought that it would be helpful. I know some folks around here who are good at that.
Okay, you know that I'm going to say that you know the Al-Makir at Al-Makir's Archery and Bows is a good friend of the little people and the young people, and it would be a good friend of yours and might be able to help you get some kind of tracking equipment.
Cool. I think that's, cool. That's where I'll be.
What would you like to ask them?
I don't actually know, like, what tracking equipment, like, what good tracking equipment there is in this universe. I'm just, like, putting it out there, like, yes-anding that there is some,
Great. So you go and look for like a binocular telescope type item. Lenses are definitely available.
Great. Cool. I asked to just borrow something like that. and then they're like, oh, well, I can't like give you anything from the store directly, but like I've got a pair that I use and you can just take it. Just make sure you bring it back in one piece.
Sure.
Can we just say that every couple of minutes or so, I just send a quick sending to everybody using Farscribe, and I'm like, any updates? And the way sending works is you can immediately respond, but you got to just be like negative or affirmative or whatever.
I also realize one small error in describing things, or one thing I would like to add, if that's okay. Since it's still quite early, I would assume people are still just coming into work. So right now, you want to be keeping an eye out for actually a big group of people coming from the desert into town, and all of them are heading directly for SRS, and check for anything unique about them. If you see like a large group, try to pick some things out about them. Maybe that's the group we're looking for, etc.
Okay, so we are going to do a skill check as you're watching people come in from work. We will have, you'll start to see people begin to filter in to SRS. You'll see people start to make their way towards there as though they're in kind of, some of them are in more kind of clothes that seem like physical labor, like blue collar type clothing. And then you see some that seem to be like carrying cases that for you would indicate engineers or arcanists. So you see this group of people starting to head that way. What would you like to do?
You see a group of people? Who is seeing that?
You see a number of people. This would be Ember and Taz.
Are you saying that is a group of people that are together, or those are just different types of people that are coming in?
These are just, they're starting to make their way in. You see a bunch of different groups.
And they're heading towards SRS.
They're heading towards SRS. It's like the morning work horns are starting to sound.
As I see them, would it be possible for me to... I guess I would have had to do this before, but I'd like to ritual cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You can have done that.
Do I detect any magic coming off of any of these people?
You will detect some transmutation magic in one of the briefcases, and some divination magic coming off of a lapel pin one of the white collar workers is wearing.
But okay, divination coming off of the lapel pin. I would like to watch that person and see if there's any kind of shiftiness in their body language. See if they look like they're hiding something, or like they're afraid of scrutiny of some kind.
Okay, give me an insight check to see as they're walking in if they seem like they're trying to slip something over.
I got a 9.
Okay. They seem like, other than this bit of magic here, as you're kind of studying them more closely, it seems like they are higher up in the organization. But they are wearing kind of, the commissars have pretty bland clothes, and this person has clothes that might be a little bit more evocative, a little bit more colorful, and from somewhere different.
What's a commissar?
Okay. Commissar are people of the Comis faith. The people worship the Djinn of Progress. And this place is almost entirely employing Comis worshippers.
Okay. So I'm gonna I'll send this to Ember, and I'll say the rich-looking guy looks like a higher up, and he's got some kind of divination magic on his lapel. So,
Anything about his clothes, or just ways to identify them?
Well, if I'm gonna send a lot of information, it's 25 words or less, so I gotta think about it.
We can do this multiple times.
It is true. It is at will.
I'll get a little bit of info about like what this character is looking like. You mentioned that they were wearing some brighter and slightly more evocative clothing. after I learned that, I'm keeping an eye out for any other individuals that might be wearing the same kind of thing.
So they have like a sharper white collared shirt with a kind of a loose tie. It would be a bow tie, but it kind of hangs loosely down in front, kind of like an original bolo tie. The suit jacket doesn't have a very sharp lapel. It arcs down and it sort of falls into tails. It's kind of this dark muddy green, and the pants are also kind of a dark muddy green with kind of a very nice shined brown boot.
The main thing I'm trying to communicate is that they have divination magic on them, because I know you might be like hiding, so you should be aware of that in case, in case you try to do rogue shenanigans. And I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Right now, I'm just chilling and watching, though.
Oh, you're just okay.
Two locations were pointed out. I'm probably in the bush, and the other one watching while this all is going on, and I'm keeping an eye out for the rest of our party to show up while we people watch. And now I'm keeping an eye out for any other individuals that might have slightly unique clothing coming from any one direction.
I think that like it won't take us long to catch up. So the timeline might be like it's early morning, you set up, and then like a few minutes later we show up. If there's another spot, like probably, like we can, we'll find Taz or whatever, and then talk or something like that. And like, I imagine that we're like, oh well, we should stake out for like as they're showing up, at least for a little while before we go do other things, until like people are here for work, and then like we can kind of like go prepare and then come back. But I think that like, I think I can be in the other spot. Basically, is what I'm saying.
So I misspoke.
Oh.
On when I said divination, I meant to say conjuration.
I see. Conjuration on a bola. Well, I don't know what that means.
On a
like a lapel
pen.
So, yeah, I don't know that we need to do anything more in the morning. Like, is that everybody who comes in for work? Everybody that you described? There's no like groups of people?
There's a couple pairs of 2 and 3. There's one that there's kind of a lone. So here, I'm going to lay out 3 groups, and you tell me if you want to do anything to any of them. So there's kind of a lone white collar person with bifocals that are kind of busted on one side, and they have tape wrapped around, kind of some kind of magic adhesive. You see another kind of a group of louder folks that seem to be talking in a accented common. It's about 3 taller folks, seem to be more blue collar, and then you have a more mixed group, a white collar guy kind of talking briefly with a blue collar guy.
So there, you said that those are 3 groups?
Those are 3 that I'm putting in front of you.
And those are like 3 groups that are like significant
Walking
size? Like each of those?
These are 3. There isn't like a blob. There isn't just like, hey, we're the group.
But those groups are like of size 3, 2, and 3 or something?
1, 2, and 3.
Okay, cool.
Can I try to get a little closer to the 3rd group without being noticed and overhear some of their conversation?
Absolutely. So, give me a perception check.
I also want to be perceiving them, but in a different way. Like, I have an idea of what is needed to travel through the desert, so I'm gonna like see if they have those like equipment. Back to Pat now that.
Was that a 1 or an 11?
11.
Okay, an 11 total. So you will hear the name Casis, Kasis, and you will also hear staff crystals floating. And that will be it.
I imagine that like the condition and equipment of people who live in the town versus people who walk through the desert to get here every day would be pretty significantly different, and that I should have a pretty good idea of what that would look like. So that's what I'm looking for in everyone who's coming in.
Okay, so you're trying to read the way that they're presenting and hope that they didn't prestidigitate. Give me an investigation check. And you're checking which group, the 2 or the 3?
I'm watching everyone.
You're watching everyone, okay?
15.
15. So you will see. It seems like everybody has kind of a similar, freshly prestidigitated look. It's cultural for the commissars to be like very very clean. There was a one of the 3, the kind of the working toughs, was a little bit extra grimy.
So
And so you kind of make a mental note of them. They have kind of darker brown hair, short kind of short buzz cut.
To clarify, most of SRS are followers of this religion, but not all followers of this religion like live in the boat.
Yes.
And so it's not that we're looking for commissars, it's that we're looking for boat people.
You're looking for the Daragarak.
What does that mean? That's the name of the boat?
That's the name of the cult.
Okay. Oh, the cult. Okay. Got it. So, I'm also looking for equipment, like if they have like clothing that is effective for traveling through the desert. Oh, also, do we know, are there any species that are more or less likely to be part of the cult? Or do we have any reason to believe that, I guess?
No.
Okay, yeah. So then, yeah, the clothing and equipment for traveling through the desert, goggles, like things that you wouldn't need just to walk from one street to another.
Okay. Cool. So you'll keep an eye out for that. Bay, is there anything that you want to be doing?
No, I think Bay is just shadowing Wig. Just probably trying to take everything that you like. Oh my god, I will hold that for you. Let me carry, like, I got you. Let me just carry that for you. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Let me carry it for you.
So, congratulations, you have a squire. You did it. You won Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Hold on.
I actually have. Why don't you go on? You go on.
Does Ember notice any of this?
Notice any of what?
That Bay is like hovering around Wig.
Nope, you're focused on kind of your job in front of you. You're kind of leaning in, trying to listen in this conversation.
Okay, I have something else I would like to try to do once they're done with the conversation, but we'll come back to that. So
Okay. Toss.
I had an idea. It's a little bit of. I'm gonna try to manipulate Bay a little bit. I want to try to convince Bay that it's a good idea to try to proselytize in SRS to try to like convert people, because obviously if we convert them, then they'll just side with us because everyone in our religion is on the same team, right? And I think that could, if we like observe, because I don't trust Bay to do like subterfuge, but if we give them,
So you're trying to like suss out the people who it
feels like it has enough plausible deniability.
Yeah. I feel like probably Bay. I don't know let's see. I feel like Bay could be pretty convincible to that. Yeah.
It's not 100% clear how that would be helpful, but it does seem like something that just could be helpful.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could. I mean, I don't know how much of a presence we want to be, but we could ask. We could say we're looking for the voice of Comas, because that's what the cult leader like calls himself. I just figured we were trying to be really on the DL.
At some point, we do need to go inside.
Why?
Because there's obviously like a trap door with some stuff. There's always a trap door with some stuff.
For trapdoor hunting. That
Right,
tracks.
we're cellars with things.
Mm-hmm,
I play Dungeons and Dragons. There's things
a
under
time
things.
or two.
There are things underneath buildings in Dungeons and Dragons.
But that was sort of my question, I guess, for you guys, for all of us. Like, my understanding was that this was going to be more of a stakeout, like a stakeout, not a stake in.
Yeah, I think that what we are doing is that Penny's idea is to send Bayou in to gather information, not by revealing any of us or our intentions, but by simply proselytizing Bayou's religion to the people and seeing how they react while we all watch from the sidelines and potentially gather whatever information comes up from that.
Well, and the way that a normal religious person responds to like a Jehovah's Witness is very different from the way that like a cult member responds to like, there's just a different vibe, I think.
Bay would not take a lot of convincing, I think, ever to talk about their talk at length about their religion.
Okay. So you have your group of 3, your group of 2, and your group of 1. Who would you like to proselytize to? Or would you just like to go in the front door and start talking to whoever's there?
I think Bay would probably go for the group of 3 because it's the most people
That's logical.
they could enact change upon.
All right. So you approach them.
Mm-hmm. What do they look like? Who can you describe?
So
them to me?
you have a pair of kind of sturdier halflings.
Excellent.
They're kind of androgynous. They have a tuft of long hair on the top and then sharp on the sides. Kind of one has a bit of a scar across the nose, and the other one seems to have these really sharp blue eyes. And then the third is a oh my gosh, rabbit person. What the heck? Why can't I remember it? Haragon is a Harangon. That seems to be kind of burly, and you're actually sitting there thinking about it, and you recognize this Harangon from the night before. They were having a political argument with in the dungeon.
Did I happen to hear what they were arguing?
They were arguing about Sabisunat, and it was the political discussion that was going on there. It was the Hanu Sabisunat argument.
What information would knowing what side of that political debate that person was on give me about their potential? Are they super conservative, religiously? Like, would it give me anything that I could?
They are not interested in like conserving, like they don't care about Admurs in general. They care about like their family and their local people. They're kind of like localists.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll walk up. What is the explain to me what is the argument that they're talking about? Is this the Oasis?
This was what they did at the Violet Fiddle.
Yeah, I know.
This was last night. They were talking. It's a big thing where like there are 2 political leaders and they think that one is really weak and the other one is stronger.
Okay.
They're on the side of the upstart. I'm
gonna walk in and lead with that.
Okay.
So what is the upstart's name?
Uruhanu.
Uruhanu. Okay. And they're in support of Uruhanu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna walk up. As I approach them, what's the vibe? Like, are they eyeing me suspiciously? Are they like, don't care?
You walk up and you're like, what's up? So what's up with Uruhanu?
I'm just gonna sort of start approaching them like you do, with people you're trying to jam with.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Harangon will turn and look at you, and kind of this torty Harangon with these deep set yellow brown eyes will look at you and say, "What of her?"
I
didn't think I'd get this far.
Oh no! You're gonna talk to me? No, okay.
And the two halflings, the sharp blue eyes and the scar, they kind of turn around and face you.
She has the right of it, I think. Don't you think?
I do agree. We
She's
should go to Ankara Dividen.
protecting her people. And
Yes.
we're all standing strong together.
Hadmurs cannot protect us. She can.
The thing is, friend, Hadmurs can protect us. And I think really, if you take a second to think about it, their two viewpoints are the same, really, because it's about protecting our people and, you know, making sure that we all stand strong together as a united front.
All right. Make a proselytizing check. I will take a performance or religion, or I will take a performance or a persuasion check.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, performance or persuasion. Let's see. Do. Excellent. Okay, dirty 20.
Great. So they will say, I do agree with what you are saying. I do not agree that Hadmurs will protect us, however.
Okay.
The
I hear
Mogaktar
you.
and the Ohabala have failed us so many times. We must do our own thing now.
It is at exactly this moment that you receive a telepathic message that just says, "How's it going?"
Also, do the other two people say anything in this group? Did they leave, or are they still here?
No, they're still looking. They're still sitting there looking.
Cool.
Okay, so what would you suggest then? If not Admors, then who?
And they will say, Uruhanu has met with a new jinn, and there are new powers rising from the south that may protect us.
Comus business?
I'm sorry?
This Comus business, is that the jinn you're talking about?
Comus comes from the north.
Oh, who's this new jinn then?
I don't know her name.
And what's she about?
Unity and mutual protection.
Wait, okay, hold on. What's it? Outside of Bay's character, is that the person that they were referencing earlier in this political debate, or is this a different? The Jinn is a different person.
The
Or
Jinn
would
is
Bay
a
know
different
that?
person.
Okay. Sorry, Scarlet was confused.
That's fine.
Okay. And what has she done to prove herself to you in a way that Admors hasn't?
Uruhanu was shown this creature. It was like a lizard, but it had tremendous wings. A collar burned brightly around its neck. It was strange. But Uruhanu tells of this woman that was able to dominate this beast that seemed to call fire from nothing.
Oh no!
With a flick of a wrist.
Oh no, Molly, no. Do you know the name of the Jinn? Did you tell me already?
I do not know the name of Uruhanu's patron, no. The settling of Ankara Diveden is new.
I see. Well, I think you should give Admors another try. I'm just saying. I really think that, especially if unity is your deal, you know, Admors has already proven himself so many times. And this new person, like Jinn come and go, right? I mean, you know, godlike creatures come into our realm all the time, and then they just leave. And I think that's
if you
what's
will
happening
excuse
here.
me, I have to go to work.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
The Harangon turns around.
Do you want
and
some
starts to walk
pamphlet?
away.
I have a pamphlet. Okay.
And
Bye.
one of the halflings takes it, looks at it, and hands it back to you, and walks away.
Okay, well, let me know if you want to talk any more about Oddmores. I'm here, right here in this bar.
And you see the kind of the lone straggler as they step into the building, stare at you for a second, kind of like confused, and then
Hello?
then their eyes focus, and then they step into the building and make their way.
To me?
Yep.
Hello, are you interested in hearing about the gallant dagger, our Lord and
Are
Savior?
you chasing them into the building?
No, Scarlett said to me, and then you said yes, but what you meant was no. They went into the building away from
They
Bayou.
went into the building.
Oh, okay, not to me. I see. Okay. No, that's fine. I'll let them go. The other people are still here?
Nope. They
Everyone
they rudely interrupted you and walked away.
No, I mean the other groups.
I saw this was outside the building?
Yep.
I wanna and I had detect magic on that in that moment of confusion and then eyes focusing. Did I feel anything happening there?
You didn't see any magic. Give me an insight check.
I got a 14.
So this person was listening. It was had a strange interest in what Bayou was saying, and not like
person?
in a positive way. It seemed to tilt their mood in a direction. Then they sort of stuffed it back down, and then their eyes sort of refocused.
Did Bay perceive that, or would Bay have perceived it as just interest? Do you?
I think Bay would have just perceived it as interest, but like every people watching from the outside would have seen that. So that the man with the kind of deep glasses,
they will absolutely pursue that person into the building.
You're going to chase this person down.
Yes.
Okay, so you start running into the building, and as you enter, there are.
Does anybody like say anything while you're walking towards the building?
Cat.
So Ember was already close by and trying to listen to this group. As soon as she sees Bay like run into the building, she's immediately like right next to the door, trying to listen and watch what's going on, and also ready to run in there and grab Bay by the collar and yank them out.
So as you enter Bay, Ember sort of shifts over to the front door, and tries to kind of lean up against the wall, look casual, has like this black soot fox with like a straw, like trying to chew it and lean up against the building, like look casual.
A piece of tumbleweed.
Just like, but carrying around the tumbleweed, so she just rips off a big shred like it's cotton candy.
I send you a sending, so you get a psychic message that just says, "Did you tell him about the water in the cup, like the top of the water? Did you tell him that part?"
How much can I respond to you?
You can respond up to 25 words mentally.
I feel like it probably gets cut off, but I just go into a very long-winded explanation of like, well, I just didn't think it was the time. I was building up to it, but I just felt like
it gets cut off at 25 words.
Yeah.
So you step into this this beautifully tiled entry room. It's like as you're stepping out of the kind of hot fall sun. This area is very cold, and the tile work is very cold, and it's much darker. And you see this illusion magic seems to be lighting up sconces behind these two pairs of secretaries. There are doors to your right and left, but one of the secretaries will say, "Hello, may I help you?" This it's a bookish mask.
I have followed a person. I'm not saying this, but Bay has followed a person in here and is not looking at the secretary, but is just trying to talk to the person who showed a sliver of interest in what they were saying.
You kind of run quickly to the right, and you go to pull the door, and it goes. It's not opening for you. Like you're not getting buzzed through.
Okay.
So there was enough time between Bayou going from where they were standing to the door for the person who entered the building to be gone already from this entryway room.
Did you without yes. Yep.
Just yeah.
Because it was like you're talking to them a good like maybe 100 feet away. You see this person sort of have a reaction, and then you're sort of trying to follow them in, but they're just you're
And so
sprinting.
I'm in like this is like an atrium kind of situation.
You're in an atrium.
Okay.
There's two fine wooden desks in front of you with a kind of a mask and an androgynous secretary.
And I'm sorry, this is the RSR building?
SRS, yep.
SRS? Right.
So it's a reagent and supply building, but they don't have
Reagent
they're
and
not
supply.
selling stuff here. They have secretaries. Or they're not like a store.
It's not a store, it's like a purity testing group.
I was
Quality
actually just
control.
Or a
trying to
wholesaler.
I was actually just trying to speak with that person that just went in. They waved at me like they wanted to talk to me, and I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to make sure that they knew that I saw that.
Oh, I can let them know that you're looking for them and see if they want to talk to you.
Yep, they definitely want to talk to me. So you can just go ahead and let them know, and I will wait here.
And so you'll see they'll pull out a copper wire, and they'll go like this, and they'll say, and that eventually the kind of bookish man will come out and say, "Hello."
Hi, friend. I saw you make eyes at me across the room as I was speaking. Across the entryway, across the land.
I am
As I
not
was
accustomed to people having the gall to proselytize their religion to me and to my coworkers on my way to work.
Well, strap in, buddy, because it's a whole.
I am
new-
disinterested in this conversation.
I think you only think you're disinterested. Why would you come out here and talk to me if you weren't at least a little bit curious?
She's got you there.
The man will the man will kind of reach out and kind of tap you on the back with their hand, and they will say, "Leave now."
Before I go, I just want.
He turns around and says to the androgynous secretary, says, "Remove them. If they do not go, kill them."
Okay, well, the divine water connects us all, and we are all part of the great current, and you're gonna have a good
Goodbye.
understanding that Oddmorse looks over all of us. Okay, bye. And they will leave.
What did we learn here?
I don't know. Bay has boundary issues.
A religious person with boundary issues?
So yeah, Bay's gonna come out a little bit disappointed and maybe dejected. Genuinely feeling that they failed a little bit in their mission.
As you come out, you see enjoying an ale and a peanut butter jelly sandwich is Taz.
How'd it go?
And you see Ember too. Ember looking real cool,
Oh.
hanging out against.
No, Ember's in the bush.
Ember's
Oh, no!
chewing on tumbleweed.
I forgot. Hey Ember, hey Taz.
So how'd that go?
Did you convert them all? Did you get them? You told him the water thing, right?
I think I got a couple, but not as many as I was hoping. I really think that some of them believe now, but it's so hard, to tell how much
Yeah,
of an
for
impact
sure.
you're really making.
For sure. Did any
Okay.
of them? Did any of them seem culty?
Yeah, I mean, not like my cult, which is a bummer. I mean, not that Oddmorse is a cult or anything, but if it was, they weren't interested in it, which I think is really a bummer.
So did Ember hear that? She came right up to the door, so was she able to hear the
Yep.
conversation? And so I take it that she was able to pick up that wasn't quite normal.
I'll just tell you guys too, Ember, so you don't have to rely on your hearing. I'll tell you about the conversation that I had with the angry man.
The comists are generally blunt. but they are not usually threatening. And it was odd that he was threatening.
Cool.
So
Are you? Is Wig here?
I'm in the other location of the two, not the bushes, but the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
so I'm
where
hiding.
Taz
I'm
was.
staking out. Oh, Taz was at the restaurant, I thought.
Eating a
Yeah,
sandwich.
that was one of the two places.
So everybody's at the restaurant having a meal.
Yeah, we're all eating PB&J. Hey, do you want one of these? It's this thing. I've never heard of it before. It's called a hot dog. I don't know
Is
if
it a
there's dog
sandwich?
in it. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with yes. And then we
Ember
won't talk
produces-
about this ever again.
Ember produces some sauce of mysterious origin and starts eating the chicken nuggies with it.
Mm.
The Dino Nuggies.
I was here watching. I was not with Taz. I was somewhere else. I misunderstood the situation. So if you'd like me to roll my own survival check to find a good place to stake out, I will.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
$21.
Yep. So you were able to vault yourself up onto a rooftop nearby,
I love
and you've been
rooftops.
sort of watching from the rooftop.
That's my steez right there. That's like my specialty, like my number one. You know what I mean? Like I know rooftops. If I know one thing, it's rooftops.
If
You're in your
knows
wheelhouse
one
now.
fucking thing. If the urchin knows one fucking thing, it's fucking rooftops. Are you kidding me? I'm out here. All I got is roofs. I got roofs and quills for days.
Oh no.
This is why you need East Coast Dungeon Masters.
I love this because there's been 3 different titles assigned to my character so far in this episode. So who knows what the real one is?
It is the urchin's quill.
No,
Urchin's
it's the urchin's
spine.
It's not the orphan's spine either. Which someone
The
else,
orphan's spine
someone
seems
else said.
dark. That's dark magic.
it's the same.
Oh!
It's
In an
basically
alternate
the same.
universe where you went insane and killed all of the orphans instead of saving them, you became the orphan spine.
Yes, there is shadow wig, or swig as we call them. So,
All right.
Our socializing group, as you are kind of having some flatbread and the local dipping sauce, drinking some low test wine. What are you discussing at this cafe?
Well, I'm a little bit chuffed, a little bit peeved that someone threatened to kill my friend for doing something so unoffensive as trying to get them to give up their religious beliefs and adopt ours.
I thought it was really reasonable.
I thought it was really reasonable, and they threatened to kill you.
I know, right? That almost never happens.
But more importantly, that seems weird. Like weird. Like if I was mad at someone, I wouldn't threaten to kill them. I would just probably hit them, but not with intent to kill.
Do we
Now
think
that you
that
mention it,
the cult members go to the bar?
don't know.
You
We've seen
have
them there,
no
though.
indicate. You have
however we learned-
indication. You have indication that the research team used to go there.
Research team.
I don't believe that the research team said anything about seeing the cult there.
And more specifically, however we know that there are people who are going back to the ship every night, like did we learn that people go back to the ship from work, or did we learn that they go back to the ship eventually?
From work.
Okay.
how close is the bar to the dig site?
Not very close.
Okay, I see.
So I want to have been there watching, but if we're gathering, everyone's at work, we're done taking out until the evening, I will come and talk with everybody as well.
Okay.
So now
So we're
we can
all
talk.
at the. We got an unwelcome thing. We learned that a blonde woman that was able to show a flying lizard with a burning collar is making deals with someone in another city, and you got a disproportionate response to your proselytization.
Mm-hmm.
Overly hostile.
Well, I agree that seems a little bit out of the ordinary, suspicious maybe, but we can be relatively not suspicious of the person that we saw at the bar last night, right? I mean, as far as we know, the people who go to the boat, they go right back. They don't stay there. So probably that person's not in the cult. And so if we think that they're arriving together, then that must not be the group, right?
I agree with Wig. Whatever my good friend Wig thinks, that's what I think.
I guess the
Say
question
that
is-
again a little bit more slowly.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying that.
Do you want to write it down?
No, this is out of character. Let me finish the bit. Okay, I'll try to be slower. So I was just saying that the people who arrived, one of them is from the bar last night, and so as a result, I think if we think that they're going to arrive together, then there's no way that it was that group. But we don't know for sure that they're going to arrive together, but it does seem likely. Okay, I'm done.
So,
you can do whatever you want.
If you want, would you like to that translated for real, Kat?
I think I got most of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can tell you out of character what I said in character.
No, you. It's okay. I think I got it.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't know. They may have separated. Any of them could be any of them. We're not sure.
So it seems to me like we could either wait all day and then try to follow them back to the ship. Boring. Or we could just start blasting and just kick the door in and just walk in there and just make them tell us.
Well, boring
Who's
sounds
with
right.
me? And I put my hand out like that.
We all just stare at it for a second.
I'm gonna just pick your hand. I'm gonna grab your hand and be like, love the energy. Love the energy. Let's take a step back though.
I think
I take a literal step back. Okay, now what?
probably we can handle a little bit of boring, right?
Okay, so how long has it been since everyone has gone into work?
30 minutes.
What's the weather like?
Sunny. Sunny, warm, crisp air.
Does
it breezy?
Not a lot of dust.
Not a lot of dust, so the air's real calm, everything's real still. Good. So, in that case, they all walked in, most likely also probably from the ship. Let's go track some footprints because everything is sandy and the roads are sand. And I just asked if there's no wind. So I already know there's no wind and you can't you can't
And the laws of verbal entrapment. I've got you, GM. Make a survival check. Make a survival check with advantage.
Can I be also tracking?
I'm giving advantage because of the tools.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. Well, why don't I say? Okay, that sounds great. And then
does
I'll do
anyone
the
have a
tracking.
better survival than me?
I am good at this.
I have +3. I have pretty okay survival. Surprisingly.
I suggest tracking. I let someone else do it
Yes.
Yeah, once it's been suggested, Bay will be on board.
because my survival is garbage, and I will let someone else roll that with
What's yours,
advantage
Vic?
instead of me.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So survival is one thing. Is Bayou good at tracking footprints?
Which is survival.
Which is survival, but it's not. There's multiple things under survival, so you don't have to be good at every survival thing if you have a high survival. So I'm just saying, in character.
Bay is very observant. So I think if you gave Bay specific instructions, like this is what you're looking for, they could execute.
So
well.
probably, I think Bay volunteers to do the tracking initially, and then Wig is like, "Oh, I think I'm decent at that as well. I could give it a shot, I guess. Actually, I have
Well,
an
you
idea."
should lead us. You should probably, because I mean, you probably know a lot more than me. So you should probably go. If you want to just show me, I could just watch.
All right.
I mean, I guess that's
Wig,
okay. And then
Wig.
also timeline wise, this is I'll go get the tools and then come back, and now we'll make our roll. We'll do it. Let's do it. Okay, I got a 12.
With advantage?
Yeah, I rolled the die already a minute ago before Kat brought stuff up, and it was a 3, so this time it was a 7, and then now it's a 12.
Cool. So you are able to identify three kind of sets of footprints from that trace things out. So you are able to identify 3 different sets. You're not sure which of the 3 kind of lead out. There's some houses on the outskirts that might be leading to, but you kind of have like a mile by mile area of where the pickup might happen.
The pickup?
Where they might be picking the people up after work.
Where the island might be appearing. The
They're picking
dune.
people- Oh.
Where the guide might come to get the people and bring them out into the desert.
Cool. Okay. That's pretty big. I mean, how big is the city?
The city, it is a. This is kind of in the rural area, so the compounds start to spread further and further out. So probably in the area, you have like a small quarter grocery. You have a probably 15 or 20 houses, and then there's a big farm plot of land. Kind of, well, not farming because it's kind of the desert, but maybe cacti or succulent agriculture.
What I meant is like, 1 mile by mile area is half the city, or it's like 1/10th of the city, or it's like 1/100th of the city. I don't know how big this town is overall, total. Is that what you were describing? And
No, I'm just describing to what is in that area.
Right. Okay.
It's in that.
So
it's in the outskirts.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, like, how big this space is compared to the rest of the town.
You've narrowed it down significantly.
Great. Okay. So I, out of character, have an idea of what to do from here, but I want to give other people the chance because I talk really fast. They have something.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to make progress.
The 4 of us. Yeah. So we get together, and at this point, maybe Ember brings it up, and says, okay, out of character, I think maybe Ember should go ask around, right? Talk to the street kids, in this mile by mile area to see if they've seen someone getting picked up by a guy to go out into the desert and stuff. What do you think of that,
Presumably
Kat?
there are people living in these sheltered houses.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, you can,
Where are we on this map, or are we like?
You were at Sundata Reagent and Supply.
I thought
That's
we
where
just
you were.
followed a trail.
Oh,
You
yeah,
did,
there's a map.
and you're no longer on the map. Okay, so you've narrowed it down to a mile by mile.
Right. Yes.
What would you like
Kat,
to do?
what did you think about that idea?
sure.
Does it make sense for you? I mean, you don't have to like it. Like for
I mean-
Ember, I mean.
Ember's really not great with that. That's probably not where she would want to go. I would think that's what Wig would want to do.
Okay, sure. I just misunderstood Ember's character. I thought that you had lots of underground connections in the street kids because she did or something. I guess you have the connections from your dealings more than street kids.
She has underground connections in the city where she's from. This is a completely foreign place. She happened to know one guy that was a connection of a connection way over there where we hid the one other person, but this is somewhere she's relatively unfamiliar with. She would not likely know the local street kids of the area. If you would like to go talk to them, you can talk to them, but no, Ember does not know these people.
So, mechanically, basically, I'm treating Ember's background as burned for the adventure. Is that there's not going to be any more urchin benefits because of, the double that we used it? Right?
Okay. Burned as in used up, or burned as in that's
Yep.
the name of a... Okay,
As
got
in
it.
used up.
Sure. I'm not going by mechanics. I'm literally just going by flavor, but incorrectly. I don't think Wig knows the street kids either. I think Wig, I imagine that one of us knows how to talk to stranger street kids.
That would most likely be you.
Okay, all right. So then we can do that in character or whatever. But like, maybe we have that conversation, and you know, I think probably Wig wouldn't have that assumption that I did out of character. So maybe Wig will just leave. You know, be like, I'm gonna go talk to the kids, and then go talk to them.
Where we're at, we've narrowed the pickup spot down to a square mile on the outskirts of town, and you want to go talk to kids in the area that might know something, and
that
be
might
like,
have seen them be picked up.
I think that's an excellent
sounds-
idea, and that
sounds like a
sounds
great idea,
exactly
yeah.
what Wig would do. Go for it. That
Okay.
just it's Wig's things, not
Yeah, no,
Ember's.
I understand. That's good. Good
Well,
teamwork. Good
okay.
communication.
with,
What
I guess with what does Taz want to do?
does Taz want to do?
I think the wizardly thing to do would be to investigate the area and look around. And I mean, it's a mile by a mile, so
Yeah,
no,
we
that
didn't do a
doesn't
great
make
job of
sense.
tracking. And by we, I mean me.
Well,
What's the visibility? I mean, it's flat, right? It's pretty flat.
Nice and clear, relatively flat.
maybe I have some magical spell. I'll cast Identify on the sand. Sand.
With your whiz biz?
I think it might take a long time for me to try to like find some street kids to talk to, and like if I do eventually succeed and find someone who knows, like, who saw something, it might take a while. So you can just kind of assign my character to be doing that for like the rest of the day until like it's time to stake out the evening, if you want to.
So we will do this. Everybody will get to do a thing in this 1 mile by 1 mile area. So you are going to talk to the street kids. Give me a persuasion check.
11.
Okay, great. Bet by you. As you've seen your hero walk off and start to try to round up children and see what they know. What are you up to?
I think Bay honestly would probably try and go and help Wig. In any way that Bay could.
Okay.
So Bay is just like standing behind Wig, being encouraging
I think
and looking friendly to children.
Maybe, probably, Wig would have the conversation in character, like, "Oh, hey, so, what are you doing?"
I'm helping.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, okay.
Did you not want? You wanted to.
I just was thinking for this specific activity that, well, speaking to the street kids.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I didn't want to come with you. I'm gonna go over here. Actually, I'm
okay,
gonna
well,
go.
But I appreciate it.
Bye, goodbye. And then Bay's just gonna kind of run away. So in that case, Bay will post up, kind of sad, a little bit hurt.
So
that their hero
Bay
would
is
spurn them. But
as Bay is sad they posting. What are they looking for? Or what
they're gonna post up on high ground, if they can, and just literally scout the situation, looking for someone entering this 1 mile radius that looks suspicious and alone, and like they're gonna take people.
Okay. Are you making any attempt to conceal yourself? Are you just going to Highland?
If I can hunker down on top of one of
climbing
these
up a tree and just like looking,
bear
big glasses.
If I can climb up on one of these compounds and be sort of flat and inconspicuous, that would be the goal. Yeah. So, okay, sure. As I'm turning, I think Bay would probably mutter to themselves under their breath, like, "It's fine, just like my childhood hero. It's just the urchin. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'll just go over here and be by myself and not be with this. It's fine. It's fine."
So in this situation, do the people I'm speaking to react to this at all?
Make your reroll.
Me?
Yep.
Okay.
Ember, what are you up to?
Ember is setting up a little show with Soot, her fox, to try to distract and entertain people, and is looking for anyone of this similar threatening temperament, along with any sort of odd or interesting clothing. Because the other person we saw earlier was somewhat almost angry and threatening. she's trying to attract a crowd to watch her street performance with her pet vermin and watching how they interact and socialize and looking for anyone with a more violent demeanor.
Do we have like
Okay.
reason to believe that there could be cultists in the city other than the ones that we're trying to track?
Somebody has to pick them up.
Oh, and that person is in the city?
You have no idea.
Okay, cool.
So we're finding out.
Great, perfect.
So I will have you make a perception check.
Perception or performance?
I'm assuming that you've done this thing with Soot enough that you're just do it.
Okay.
And you're actually not really focused on the performance. It sounded like you were actually focused on studying the crowd.
True. Sounds good. Regular perception check. Nat 20 for a total of 24.
Wonderful. Taz, what are you up to?
Okay, so out of character, from one dungeon master to another dungeon master, how do we feel about luck checks?
What
I
a question.
I don't
What a question to
understand.
just throw out there.
You don't. Okay, no, just thought I'd ask. All right.
You just want to roll a die and see if you come across something interesting?
Okay, so my instinct, what I would do if I was not in a situation where my friend's brother was at risk of being executed, where we hadn't been attacked lethally, if I was back in Alhobala, I would do my normal thing, which is where I pretend to divine something, and it is completely a sham. And I would walk around, and I was thinking it would be funny if I tried to do that to just stumble upon something. But if we don't do luck checks, I will do something else.
So you want to phonily.
I want to act like front to my teammates like I'm more useful than I am by pretending to be a divination wizard, which is inconsistent with other things I've said. I'm like majoring in evocation, but I'm, you don't roll an 8 into character and then make good decisions, and then roll a luck check to see if I accidentally, like through cinematic hijinks, stumble upon something of significance. That's what I would try to do.
Tell me about where you are looking. Where are you trying to do this? Like, what is so like as you're kind of looking at this like more loosely populated suburban block? There's like this sort of there's a center that your friends seem to be in. Where are you getting set up?
Do you remember that scene in The Princess Bride where he tries to let his? Okay. I'm literally like trying to douse the location of something significant with my staff, knowing full well that it will not work, like magically, to try to get my teammates to think that I am a wizard of divination prowess. Okay. So I'm like...
So as you're sitting there kind of with your dowsing rod trying to pretending to do something...
It's going to guide me to an area of significance.
You will start to walk towards this yard, and this older halfling woman will come out and say, hello. Can I? Oh, that looks like a very nice dowsing rod you have. Are you looking for anything?
I'm on a quest of much significance, kind old lady.
What?
It's of hold on, wait, what? Okay, hold on. Can I try to understand what this sound that she is making is? What?
She's breathing. What do you mean?
She's just okay.
Never heard an old lady breathe before?
She reaches in her pocket and like grabs out a peanut and.
My kind old lady of the desert, I am trying to find some men of ill repute that have been harming my compatriots. And then I close my eyes and continue dowsing.
And she'll say, "Oh, I know some men of ill repute."
I immediately drop the staff and I'm like, my rod has led me to you. Who is this? Where can I go to find this? Where could I?
Great. And so she is going to tell you about, oh, well.
Oh,
No, not the peanut ASMR. Not the eating peanuts mukbang. No.
Well, my grandnephew has been going around with a new kid. And he seems strange.
Okay, I am gonna real quick make an intelligence saving throw to see if I think this is okay. All right. Oh man, I rolled well. Okay,
Oh.
that's an 18. So okay, I'm gonna just assume. So I do not believe this to be of significance, but I will humor this old lady. Your nephew is seeing someone new.
My grandnephew.
Your grandnephew. Excuse me. I just thought. I mean, you looked so young. I didn't.
Thank you.
Is he like around here? Is this someone nearby that I could go investigate?
No, he goes into the city.
Okay. All right. Well, this was a bust. I say that out loud to her.
What's a bust? They have a bus store in the city. I've been there.
Okay.
No. Let me give you some directions if you want bus. Here you go. Give me 1 second. So this is the Assembly of Fine Artistic Busts. It's in this. And so she will say, as you sort of suffer through this misophonia nightmare, you'll finally get the name that her nephew, the nephew's dad, which isn't related to her, she kind of prattles on, recently took a trip down to islands to the south, and came back with a bunch of new people, and she sees them leaving from her from around her area on a regular basis. These new folks.
See.
She will positively ID the man with the glasses.
The man with the glasses.
What's great about
out
this?
Of character.
Sorry.
Well, does the man with the glasses is something that Penny, have forgotten about that has significance?
That's the person that we thought was sus, the rude person from the beginning of.
That's a new person. Okay.
No, that's the same person. Like when we saw the three
person
people.
Who just threatened.
It's the same person, but they are new to the city. This woman is telling me that this is a new person. So I successfully doused into an old lady's backyard. And because I'm an amazing what
I love too is that Molly just gave you like a whole paragraph of information, and that represents like 2 hours of you talking to this old lady and like very slowly revealing information while talking about her life.
Getting trapped in a conversation with an old woman. Okay, well, I'm going to use Far Scribe to relay that information. To relay that information to my friends, and then I guess I'll go find Ember, because Ember has set up some kind of show booth kind of situation.
So as you're sitting there, as you do your show a few times, you're sort of near this kind of corner store that has a few wooden tables out front where people will come sit and drink tea in the morning, and as you pass into the afternoon, alcohol bottles start to get opened and consumed at these tables in front of this store. And it's just kind of this long road in front of you, and you'll see someone who like very distinctly sat looking away from you the entire time, and this is the person that caught your eye. And they're, for someone who sat there and drank tea all day, they're really tightly dressed. And they slip away for a while, and then they come back later in the afternoon. And so you're able to kind of pinpoint this person as like someone who has been lingering around and seems to just not have the temperament of everyone else around them. What was your final outcome with everything, Adora?
I rolled a 1 on my die the second time.
Cool. So they will say like they will definitely identify that the old woman that lives down the road we're gonna call her Tatars. Tatars has been known to like bring people, like offer people food, and then just talks to them endlessly for hours and hours, and it is considered like an attack now. Like what she invites you in, it's like you're being threatened. It's like it's almost threatening to them because of how bad her stories are.
Oh. I feel satisfied with this section for my character, I guess. Once we hear from Taz, I'm ready to go back to stake out for the evening.
Okay. Ember, any reflections on what your thing revealed?
Just that this guy is most likely our guide, and we need to keep an eye on this guy. So maybe together with all of this information, we should probably have at least one person watching the guide and at least one person tailing this person with the glasses. I get the feeling this person with the glasses going to meet up with this guide over here, and then they're going to both go out into the desert later this evening, and we need to follow them.
So, with that in mind, this all kind of gets passed around the sending switchboard. What's the plan? What are you gonna do?
Seems like plan is just like one person tails the person that Ember found, one person tails the person that Taz identified. Probably Ember and Wig are doing this, and Bay and Taz are doing not that as much.
You don't think Bay and Taz would be really good at that job?
No, but they're
So
ready.
good?
They're ready to help. You know, they're ready to follow along with us. They're carrying like a lot of like gear for like traveling through the desert, and especially in the cold. Taz has like everybody's like cold outfits and stuff, and they're going to get like Bayou's like, oh, I think that if we, you know, like choosing the like styles, and like, oh, I think, you know what, I think that we if like, I think that this really fits Ember's complexion, and you know what I mean, and like picking out like cold outfits for us to travel in the nighttime. I think.
I would agree. Also, what time is it currently?
You're getting into early mid afternoon. Well, we're saying that this is kind of what everybody did with their afternoon. So we are approaching the time where work would get out. So what do we want to be doing at that time? As you have observed, this person unwilling to participate in any of Soot's games, despite how cute Soot is, which is quite significant. This small little black ball of fluff against these Jasper Mountains, the black and orange looks quite striking. After Misophonia Hell, Taz has come back victorious, having identified this same person as leading a group of new people in and out of the town. We have rightly found that this granny in question, Tatars, is quite a terror to those in the neighborhood. So you know you have the mark is the broken glasses and the stern cold shoulder.
Coffee drinker.
How are you going to go into the desert alongside them? What are you going to do the first question I'm going to ask is, how are you going to kind of keep it subtle following people into a desert?
I don't have any spells for this.
Okay, hold on. Before we start describing, like, what kind of desert is this? Is this everything is flat? Is it a rocky desert? Are there lots of tall sand dunes all over the desert?
Tall sand dunes.
Lots of tall sand dunes. Okay, so is the desert normally windy?
Today it usually is. Today it is not.
Okay, so we shouldn't have any trouble following footsteps as long as we keep it slow and wait for sand dunes to go in between us. And whenever the footsteps disappear, that is likely where the ship that is hidden like a sand dune, they probably walked into its protective force field. Secondly, I can have Soot go a little bit ahead of us and be our scouting party because they are a very tiny black little fox creature and they are significantly harder to notice and see. And their
Or
sneak is extremely high.
you could have Wig go ahead of us as a scout because she is a tiny little brown creature from the desert who is specifically used to blending in the desert and surviving out there too.
Or
Good
you
at
could have
hiding.
Taz go ahead of us.
We could go. We could have a very large green furry friend without the fur. Go ahead.
Minus all of the fur.
Yeah. I have a thought as well after we're done with establishing this part of it. I have a thought for. What do you think of that?
We have Soot Scout and we have Hopping Scout.
Yeah, that way we can like check to make sure they're far enough ahead while we follow the footsteps and avoid like catching their notice by like having a scout check.
Okay, here's my thought on that. Wig has the best survival, so best tracking. We would likely need you with us to follow the footsteps.
My vision is like ahead is just like one dune over. Like you all can see me just fine. I'm just very like gently like peeking over the dune to like see if they're there.
Dune to the left.
Short range scout, not long range scout. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's
I'm
my
game.
thought.
I'm on board.
Remind me, it's disguised as a dune. I don't know why I thought it was a skyship for a second. It's a ground.
It does hover.
It hovers.
A hovering dune.
This is
The whole thing is disguised as a dune, but when you get close to it and are within
There's like
the
an inch
layer,
gap.
you can see it hovering away. Oh,
I had the dumbest idea ever.
You will if you just know that you're looking for a cast of the Mirage Arcane spell.
So I have detect magic, which is a perimeter that follows you around. So I don't think we need to tail them. This is a bit of a breach of character coming up with a good idea. But I don't know if we need to tail them so much as we need to like track their footsteps once we have identified who they are. I think not being seen is very important. And then once we follow them, we should eventually walk into an invisible
The ship is moving. If we wait too long, the ship could be gone from where they get on it.
Right, I guess it is a ship.
That may be true. You don't know that.
Okay, so I have an idea for
That
blending
it
into
will
the
be
desert.
moving for sure.
I have this spell called Tensor's Magic Disc, and what we could do is we could paint a palm tree onto a sheet and then drape it over the... Okay, that was my terrible idea.
No, that's great. That's
Yeah,
in character. That's what Taz is suggesting. I think that's absolutely perfect. And then again, Bayou is like, love the energy.
Yeah.
Your creative spirit is really showing, Taz, and I am going to make sure to write that on your review at the end of the semester.
Wow.
I think that it's maybe in this, as a result of this, maybe we like have the scouting be like further apart a bit, so that like any noises that like or like lights that Taz, Bayou, and Ember happen to shed or make are like less likely to be noticed. You don't need me with you to track the footprints. I can just leave easy to see footprints on purpose. I can like leave breadcrumbs or something.
Isn't Ember's stealth the highest? Shouldn't we have Ember do the tailing?
Ember's stealth might be higher, although I think that I would, as in character, I would expect that I'm better at stealth in the desert. I don't know. If, I'm also good at stealth. I don't know.
I don't think you being in character will help the role at all unless you really want to do it. It's also better to have fewer people if we don't want to be discovered. I think it would be if we're having people tail them at close enough range, I think it should be the person with the best stealth and only one or two max.
So
Yeah, Smalley.
So we have Ember creaking along up front, kind of dipping their, shaking off the soot down to their red fur and maybe dipping into the dust and getting nice and dusty.
Dust bath.
making your way. So we have a dusty ember. We have a group moving behind. We are going to follow the footsteps until they disappear, and then you sort of have an idea that you will be approaching the illusion. That's kind of what I understand.
If you want,
Yes.
from earlier, I think that it would be easy enough to have all but one of us like leave through a different like part of town, and then like Setting Sun and Taz's Far Scribe thing to follow up and catch up, essentially. That way, like you said, like we would look suspicious for us to just like follow them out of town. And so this is what I mentioned earlier, was that like, yeah, one of us can follow them sneakily or whatever, or just maybe not sneakily, just like without trying not to attract attention, still out of sight of the town, and then just normally.
So, here's what we're gonna do. I would like a group stealth check. A group deception check, as you spread out throughout the town, and you try to look inconspicuous as people flow in and out. And you try.
I got a 25.
25.
8.
13.
13. 11. Cool. So we're sort of stumbling around there. Maybe one of the group notices you kind of walking around behind them. But
why is it a group stealth check for this? Only one of us is walking behind them.
This was deception.
I mean, group deception. Only one of us is there.
Because you're all coming from different places and you're doing a thing.
All that coming is okay. I just want to make sure you understand what I'm saying, not like arguing with what we're doing.
So next up will be just on Ember, a stealth check for me as you trail them and the group trails behind you.
$15.
Okay. And then finally, as you sort of wind your way through the rapidly cooling desert sand, as the sun starts to set and the moon starts to rise, you kind of are this monotonous up and down over the dunes. You probably walk about an hour, and you finally arrive to where you kind of see them blip out, and you can tell that the Mirage Arcane exists, or at least begins. So I need an all-roll investigation check. It's not a group check. I just need to see if anyone beats the DC.
Wait, so I can't just detect magic and like get close to it?
You can. It will give a different thing though.
A nat 20.
Do I have to do that instead, or should I also make my investigation roll?
Make your investigation roll too. You can do both.
Okay, I got a 7.
They got what?
I rolled a nat 20, which puts me at 21, but it was a nat 20, if you care.
Cool.
15.
13.
Great. So, as you notice, kind of you see, remind me what your rituals look like, Taz.
My rituals? So all that I actually have to do is tap into Thipa's like innate archmage magic and sort of channel it into me. But obviously what I do is I gussy it up with lots of like, I sit cross-legged, I draw a circle on the ground, which any actually arcane trained person would spot is just like nonsense. I put like candles and stuff, but they're just like scented candles that I like, that kind of thing.
Bay, make an insight check. Make a deception roll.
Another 25.
22.
I think that
Alright,
I also don't already know that Taz is like, I guess Bay, you're saying Bay knows things about arcane stuff. Okay, got it.
So, Bay, you're studying this, and you're like, wow, he's growing. Taz is really taking strides as a wizard. Look how seriously he's taking this.
And I'm fully just telepathically being like, Thipa,
Grandma,
Grandma,
Grandma.
You gotta help me. I need your help.
Can you help me see magic?
The only reason it takes 10 minutes is because she like leaves me on red for a while.
Me and my ex. All right, so you are able to get this, and you see this tremendous mountain of illusion magic. And as you get close enough, both you and Bayou start to see kind of the tint. It tints, and your vision becomes clear through it as it becomes this lightly opaque dune, and you see this large this, I'm going to use the word here, titanic
Ooh.
battleship sitting in this sandy area.
And we shall be as the iceberg. Sorry.
Wait, that's brilliant.
And you
the
see-
Titanic in the desert can't sink. It's unsinkable.
They've done it.
They've done it.
Except for any scholars of future history and the documentary series Futurama will know that the land Titanic did in fact sink and killed thousands of mutants. So rest in peace.
After they just said it was unsinkable, it sunk?
I
That's
know.
crazy.
And
Maybe
it
next
just
time.
all it did was hit a fire hydrant too. The lifeboats, they just didn't bring enough. So you see this tint through, and this massive metallic battleship takes form in front of you. You see it's darkened with this kind of this sea-worn metal hue. And it is sitting probably about halfway up to it. The actual sand comes about halfway up the body of this. And so you see a ladder going up, kind of one single ladder that everyone goes up and gets onto the ship. And you will notice, Bay, a number of sharpshooters on top of the ship.
I'm going to alert everyone else to that quietly.
So, when we resume in just a few days for us, but in a week's time for y'all watching at home, we'll see how the party handles that. So, thank you so much for joining us for another awesome episode. We really appreciate you, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye!